Young adults are having a tough time landing long-time employment roles, leaving Gen Z and even some millennials stuck in the dust scraping together change from mommy's couch cushions. In this video, let's sit down together and spend some time discussing how the average adult just doesn't seem to have as much spending power as they did only a few generations ago. And if you personally can relate to anything discussed in this video, or you simply just been enjoying my daily dreamer commentaries over here on the page, then don't forget to like, comment your thoughts and opinions down below, and subscribe to see my daily videos right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to the handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. Now, let's begin this shit show.
For all the idiots that keep commenting, just leave, bro. Just move out. You thought I haven't tried, bro? You thought I haven't never thought about that? You don't just leave or just move out. There's so many variables you gotta be in control of first. First off, in this shitty economy, there's already the rent that you gotta worry about. Everything's hella expensive for no reason. So if you're going for somewhere cheaper, you gotta make sure that's still a safe neighborhood. So I'm trying to find a delicate balance between a good price and somewhat of a safe neighborhood. And if you're moving out with someone else, like with a friend or your girlfriend, bro, I gotta coordinate with them too. On top of that, each individual probably still has ties with their family. Stuff like health insurance, car insurance that are probably shared with the parents still, or credit cards that are still under the parents as authorized users. I gotta make sure I got all those insurance and credit cards set up before I completely detach from my parents. You also need to have enough in your savings for maybe a high security deposit for the apartment. And most apartments nowadays, you need to be earning at least 1.5 to 2.5 the amount of rent per month. If I'm moving to a new area too, I need to transfer my job as well. I can't just move to a new area and have no job. So yeah, clearly I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about moving out for the longest time, of course. When I came back from college from Taiwan, I had no networking left in America and no contact with my old friends. And I couldn't find a job on top of that for forever. And I kept hanging on to the hope of I'll find a job. So I didn't find any part-time jobs in the middle until I started giving up after 1.5 years into the job search. That's when I found a tutor job. And that was also after I got rejected a bunch of tutor centers or retail stores somehow. So yeah, I've been planning to move out for like my entire life. I just kept getting caught in bad financial spots and being led on by false hope. So anyways, originally I was planning to move out by summer, but I gotta hurry the hell up now because my mom is just getting crazier and crazier. So I'm planning to move out in 1 or 2 months.
Now, it shouldn't be a shocker to anybody watching this that young adults are having a hard time finding employment roles, being that the countless, forums or the Facebook posts or even the YouTube videos where you hear 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds online complaining and whining about, getting fired over only a couple months and being unemployed for even longer than that, which me, myself, and I have been experiencing that currently right now and time again because I am in this exact same boat as many people that I just mentioned. Now, have you experienced this personally yourself, or have you been able to hold down a job for maybe even longer than I've been alive? I'm currently 25 right now. I'll be 26 here in a few months at the end of the year. And hopefully, my goal is by the time I'm 30 to be able to have like not a foundation. I don't think I'll ever have that. I'm already experienced that might not be the case, but I do want to say that maybe in the future when I'm 40, 50, I can have that, but maybe by the time I'm 30, I can have like a stable income coming in. I don't have to also worry about it being taken from me or swept under for my feet, as well as maybe even have, my own type of money coming in where I don't have to necessarily like rely on other people to support me. But at the same time, I feel like for the average, 20-year-old, they're still living like a 15-year-old. They still need to have some sort of family help. They still need to have some sort of government help, or maybe even like a community crowdfund, because that's what a lot of these, TikTokers and YouTubers and a lot of us do. So huge shout out to all you guys who support me. But who knows? How are you guys getting by these days? I definitely don't know how everybody's doing it, but I know we're all doing it somehow. So.
Gen Z is facing the worst unemployment rate in decades.
More often than not, it's literally just rejection. And it's always like the automated messages. I've only gotten like one where it's like, oh, you can do like a video interview, but that's like the first stage out of like 7 others. So no luck.
So is it just a feeling that there are no jobs out there, or is Gen Z actually facing an employment problem? According to StatsCan, Canadian graduates between the ages of 15 and 24 are facing the highest unemployment rate this country has seen since the mid-90s. In January 2023, the seasonal adjusted unemployment rate in this group was 10%. Just over 2 years later, it sits at 14.2%. In Quebec, unemployment is below the national average, but it's still creeping up.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. There's also an older generation of baby boomers who haven't left their jobs, but it's really the uncertainty in the market.
And when you add inflation, the trade war with the US, and AI, it's created this environment of volatility and uncertainty.
It really shouldn't be that way. Like you put 4 years into your education, you should be able to find at least like a good number of jobs within the field, but it's kind of limited. And so now the option is for a lot of students like me to do a master's or a PhD.
The feds recently announced 6,000 more jobs for youth to attempt to help alleviate the job crunch. Even then, many are losing hope.
It's a little defeating because, it takes time in developing your resume to make sure, you have stuff on it to stand out, to get that interview, to even, kind of get your foot in the door, get connections and stuff like that. So getting the rejection, in which usually comes in the form of an email, it is a little defeating because we put time and effort into it.
The Quebec government's pause on work visas for non-residents could open up some jobs for new graduates.
But these tend to be jobs that are lower pay, but they are suitable for recent graduates because that's how you get your experience.
And at this point, when it comes to internship and jobs, students say they will take whatever they can get to start advancing their careers while they wait for the oldest generation to retire.
Now, I've asked this question a couple times in many past videos, but how much money do you personally need to just get by? Not to go around, not to go on trips and go out to eat every day and buy all the, new goodies at every, Target trip that your wife wants to go on. No, I mean, how much do you need to just sustain yourself, get by from day to day, month to month, and not die? Just continue to survive, as well as maybe like a little bit of funding, maybe like, you can go out on the weekends, or maybe you can just, watch your sports event with like crack a cold one with the boys or the neighbors, whatever, I don't know, whatever you do. But despite that, how much money do you think you need? Is it minimum wage? It's definitely probably more than that. Is it the medium amount of income that they say people averagely make in the U.S., which is like $50,000 to $60,000? Is that good per year household? Which is, the household is considering a two-person household as well as maybe a kid or two, which I assume they count the kid or two. I don't really know. But these days, does the average household even consider having kids? I mean, who knows? But what do you think is your number? But because for me, myself, and I, it's not even in the millions. It's probably only like maybe like a couple 100,000. I'm not saying for life. I'm saying like be set for like a while, like to really get yourself caught back up. Feel free to let me know.
The average Gen Zer says they'll need more than $500,000 a year to feel successful.
I don't think our generation can budget their way out of this.
With young adults hitting major life milestones like marriage and financial independence later in life, there's anxiety over whether the American dream is achievable for them.
Do you feel like hard work pays off now? It's like really hard to say.
Our generation is starting behind, loaded with student loans, higher interest rates, housing costs exploding.
Finding a spot to rent in the city is hard, and with mortgage rates going up again, buying a home seems out of reach. A survey published last year showed nearly a third of Gen Z adults, under 26 at the time, still lived with their parents.
I'll walk past like a real estate place and just see listings, and I'm just like, that's an amount of money that just seems like I can't even imagine. It feels kind of insurmountable.
Every time I get paid, it's either my car payment I have to pay and car insurance, and then on top of that, phone bill. So it's like so much at once hitting me, and then my credit card that I have to pay off.
I think there's an assumption that Gen Z is ungrateful, difficult to work with, expecting things that we don't deserve, and the reality is much of our generation is working really hard.
They still have some hope in the American dream.
I know that this is a country where people can achieve their dreams. It's just getting harder and harder to do that.
Now, an issue that will never seem to go away and always seems to be getting hotter and hotter is the housing market, the housing issue, people not being able to have homes, not being able to own anything, and how like renting seems to get only more increasingly fonder to people who are, new coming adults, starting families, people raising families inside apartments, and not really owning anything, or even like a rent-to-own type of situation. That's becoming more popular as well. So what are you guys' personal thoughts, opinions? Do you think eventually when some of these old generations, these boomer Gen Xers do end up passing, that it's going to be inherited down to the younger generations like millennials and potentially Gen Z? Or do you think if a Gen Z does ever get these housing prices and they see they can potentially sell a house for $500,000, knowing they'll never be able to save up enough through their jobs, getting that, maybe their 401k might not even hit, their 401k might not even hit $500,000 by the time they're going to retire, if they even ever get to. So do you think they'll probably most likely just choose to sell it off right there for that easy, quick payout? I can imagine that happening more often than not. But also the maintenance of having a home, and maybe if the home you're inheriting isn't so close to where you live, you don't want to move and change your whole lifestyle, maybe that is more of a better cause. But either way, let me know if you've experienced this. I know damn well myself, I'm never inheriting anything. That's not I'm not having that come to me, but if you are, God bless you. And if you have any thoughts, opinions about what you're going to do with your parents' house, I would love to know that down below. Because I also hear it's not always a blessing. Sometimes it can be a curse, you know, because you don't want to just sell your child at home. You also feel like maybe your parents worked for so long, so you feel like you kind of stuck in your family, only kind of just eating up expenses. So what do you feel like? Feel free to let me know down below. Well, guys, just going to wrap up this video discussing how housing sucks, money sucks, everybody thinks their parents sucks. Maybe your kids can think that about you one day. But then again, who's even having kids these days? Forget about that shit. But I definitely appreciate everybody who continues to watch these videos, continues to throw your daily support over here, and continues just to, be yourself. So huge shout out to you guys, especially a even larger shout out to the handful of you that check out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and my content around here. And, this is pretty much all I got from me today from this video. So feel free to let me know if you guys enjoyed my haircut. I didn't really know if the lady did so well at first, but I think it's starting to grow on me. I don't know. I'm not used to seeing myself with shorter hair. A lot of you guys have been telling me to cut it for a long time. Who knows? I think I just am a little more self-conscious since I'm the one who records myself, edits myself. I have to constantly see myself every day, but what do you think? Let me know down below, but I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope to see you next one. That's it for me today, so bye.